rescue point, meaning he passed, and therefore has been accepted into the
Okay. Hey, back to another video. Today we're playing Subnatica. Let's see.
As he enters the classroom, he finds his
well, Joe.
witnesses both Kotsky and Tenya to his frustration. Tenya approaches Izuku, apologizing for his treatment, and congratulates him on his feat during the entryway. But after Choco arrives in the classroom, this is embarrassing. While observing the scene, the latter manages to show courage against his longtime bully after being threatened. This is followed by the homeroom teacher, Shota Aizawa, coming into the classroom and explaining to the students about the court apprehension test that they can go through. Shota further explains that whoever gets last place in the test will be expelled from UA High, putting massive pressure on them. The students are tested on the power and use of the court in several exercises under Shota's observation, but because of the lack of control over one part, Izuku is unable to use it in most of the trial, which leads him to performing below the standards set by his classmates. When the time comes for the ball pitch trial, Izuku, left with no choice, tries to throw a ball as far as he can using one for all, but Shota stops him by erasing the court. Izuku recognizes him by his goggles and powers as the hero Eraserhead. Shota tells the student that, with a quirk like one for all, Izuku will be nothing but a burden by putting himself in danger several times, and that if he doesn't find a way to prevent one for all from massively crippling his own body, Izuku's future as a hero will be put in jeopardy. Shota then allows Izuku a second chance for the pitch trial. Keeping Shota's words in mind, Izuku powers up only the end of one of his fingers and launches the ball at a considerable distance. He shocks his class with his display as he tells his teacher he's still standing, as Shota is impressed with
Yeah.
Izuku because of his
You're ahead of me. You have Ponzu and stuff.
getting last place. However, after showing the results of the test, Shota reveals that he lied about that spelling in order to motivate the students to give their all. Calling it a logical read, much to Izuku's shock. While Shota's leaving, he sees All Might, who tells Shota that he knows that he was actually planning to expel last place from UA. All Might then concludes that Shota sees the same potential in Izuku that All Might sees. Shota shows off All Might's words and says that the chance of Izuku becoming a great hero is higher than zero, and that he doesn't see anything more than that. Claiming to expel Izuku, he sees his chance ever fall below that mark. At the end of the day, Izuku is joined by Ochako and Tenya, with the newly formed trio walking back home together, while Ochako tells Izuku that his insulting sounds like the Japanese word for you can do it, causing him to adopt the nickname. To Tenya's surprise, Izuku explains his use of his name has just changed. Battle Trial Arc. As the hero class starts, All Might tells his students to wear their hero costumes and head to ground beta. Izuku's mother had made the costume herself by hand after looking through some of her son's annotations, feeling guilt for previously not believing that Izuku would be a hero, and promising to always cheer for him from now on. Wearing said costume proudly, Izuku stepped into the training field. Izuku gets teamed up with Ochako and is tasked to stop a team composed of Kotsky and Tenya from blowing up a fake nuclear bomb. They successfully infiltrate the building and look around the corners to see if anyone was coming, where Kotsky ambushes them. Izuku manages to save Ochako from Kotsky's attack, but half of his mask is burned off in the process. As Kotsky is about to attack him again, Izuku intercepts him, grabs his right arm, and throws him to the ground. Knowing that he would use his right arm to attack, Izuku tells the surprised Kotsky that he memorized his moves, as the same notebook Kotsky grew up and threw away in the past contained notes of heroes he's analyzed, which includes him. Izuku announces that he's no longer the Deku who was a loser, but the Deku whose vibe is never giving up, much to Kotsky's fury. Izuku tells Ochako to go on ahead while he fights Kotsky, who tries to attack him again. Having predicted that, Izuku evades and manages to grab Kotsky's leg with capture tapes, but Kotsky breaks free using an explosion. Knowing that he's at a disadvantage, Izuku retreats in order to think of a plan and contacts Ochako to learn about her location with a strategy. Eventually, Kotsky finds him and attacks Izuku with a greatly empowered explosion provided from his grenadier bracers. Izuku survives and calls Kotsky insane for doing that. Izuku decides to use his quirk and informs Ochako to grab onto something instead of hitting Kotsky. Izuku aims his Detroit Smash into the ceiling, destroying the ground of every floor above them, including the one Ochako and Tenya are on. but Izuku is forced to take the full brunt of Katsuki's explosion. Izuku is then taken away on a stretcher to have his wound attended to by Recovery Girl. After spending most of the day having his wounds healed, Izuku returns to his classroom. As he enters, Izuku is commended by many of his classmates for his performance during the battle trial. Ochako asks him if he's alright, to which he replies that he's fine. Izuku then asks her where Katsuki is. Although many of his classmates try to stop him, Izuku goes to find Katsuki. After Izuku finds him leaving school, Katsuki accuses him of coming to Globe. Izuku instead tells him to
Welcome aboard, Captain.
From someone else in order to convince him that he had not been deceiving him. But the latter doesn't believe him and swore to defeat him. USJR. Izuku is confronted by a reporter from the media asking him questions about All Might, but Izuku makes an excuse to escape from the reporter. In class, Shota Aizawa makes a remark about Izuku's performance in the battle trial and encourages him to work harder. Afterwards, Izuku is elected as class president after the class votes. Much to his shock, in the lunchroom, Izuku is unsure if he's the right one for the task, but Tenya assures Izuku that he is, as he voted for him. As they continue talking, the siren goes off and everyone begins graduating. After Tenya stops the chaotic evacuation, Izuku returns to class where he decides to step down as class president and give the position to Tenya, deeming him more worthy of the position than him, which is well received by everyone. Izuku changes into his gym clothes, since his hero costume is tattered during his battle with Katsuki in the battle trial, in preparation for the rescue trial. On the way to the USJ, Suyu compares Izuku's work to All Might's, which worries him, although Eiichiro Kirishima dismisses Suyu's claim since Izuku's quirk hurts him, unlike All Might's quirk. Izuku then watches as the rest of Class 1A make fun of Katsuki, which contrasts to their time in junior high. They soon arrive at the USJ and listen to her speech. Suddenly, actual villains soon attack the USJ, which shocks Izuku. Shota goes to hold on to villains, though Izuku tries to warn him that he couldn't, but is amazed to see his teacher hold his own against the villains. Tenya then gets his attention by telling him to evacuate with his class. However, he's suddenly warped away by Kurogiri to the flood area of the unforeseen simulation zone. Sent to the shipwreck zone, Izuku falls in the water where he's about to be attacked by a shark-like villain who prepares to devour him. But Suyu saves him and throws him onto a boat along with Minoru. Izuku thanks her for saving him. Izuku then wonders about the villain's goals and then decides that their goal now is to fight. Izuku says that Suyu was teleported, along with him and Minoru Mineta, to an area, the flood zone, that allows her to be at full strength thanks to her frog quirk, and then deduces that the villains don't know what their quirks are. He then says that although the villains beat them in sheer numbers and experience, the one advantage they do have is the element of surprise. Izuku concocts a plan to defeat the villains and escape. And after telling Suyu and Minoru, Izuku uses Delaware Smash on the water while Minoru throws his sticky substance. The spread out water converges in the center along with Minoru's sticky balls, with the villains being pulled in, causing all of the villains in the water to be stuck together by Minoru's quirk. Izuku then escapes with Minoru and Suyu, with Suyu saying that he was impressive. After that, Izuku rambles that could have been dangerous. Suyu cuts him off and he says that their priority is the call for help, that they can take the water slide to the exit, but after remembering that Shota is at the Central Plaza fighting a large group of villains, Izuku decides that they should head to the Central Plaza and try to be of some assistance to Shota. However, after reaching the Central Plaza, Izuku is horrified to see Shota's condition after he's defeated by a monstrous villain. Izuku is surprised to hear Tomura Shigaraki announce that they're retreating and wonders why they came for nothing. However, this train of thought is quickly interrupted as Tomura attempts to disintegrate Suyu, but Shota uses his last bit of strength to nullify Tomura's quirk, saving his student. Izuku then uses the opening in an attempt to save Suyu by attacking Tomura. He uses one of his smashes on him, but this time, Izuku doesn't suffer from recoil. However, the attack was intercepted by Nomu, who isn't phased as Izuku realizes Nomu is the secret weapon against All Might. Nomu grabs Izuku's arm, but Suyu wraps her tongue around him. Suddenly, All Might appears, much to Izuku's happiness. Izuku is then rescued by All Might along with Minoru, Suyu, and Shota. All Might tells the students to take Shota to safety while he faces the villain. After seeing All Might in a bad position, Izuku decides to help him, but he's nearly warped by Kirigiri. However, Katsuki's attack stops him. Izuku is then joined by Shoto, and they hold down Kurogiri until Nomu attacks them to save the villain. However, All Might protects Katsuki even though Kurogiri is free.
Starvation imminent.
The battle between All Might and
Calorie intake immediately.
as he's the only person who knows about the latter's timing. After Nomu's defeat, Tomura and Kurogiri attempt to finish off
Vital
All Might,
signs
but Izuku intervenes their attempt by running in front of All Might.
Jacob, are you getting nickel so you can upgrade prawn suit and you also have resources for what's it called, for the orange tablet?
Izuku is seen on the ground crying, as he is unable to do anything to help. However, All Might tells him that isn't the case. because if Izuku didn't defeat Izuku, he would be dead, and he thanks Izuku for saving his life. Afterwards, Izuku is taken to UA's infirmary to have his injuries attended to. UA Sports Festival. The next day, Izuku listens to Shota's announcement about the UA Sports Festival. After the discussion, All Might arrives asking Izuku to have lunch with him. In the resting room, Izuku tells All Might that he's adjusting to his quirk, which pleases All Might. All Might asks Izuku to show the world at the sports festival that he's the next generation's All Might. However, Izuku's unsure if he's up to the task. All Might assures Izuku that he's not forcing him, and asks him to remember his feelings during his training at the beach park. During the 2 weeks before the sports festival, Izuku trains himself. On the day of the sports festival, while Class 1A prepares, Shoto Todoroki approaches Izuku, telling him that he's stronger than him and will defeat him. Izuku admits that Shoto is indeed stronger, but since everyone's giving it their all, Izuku will also give everything he's got. He then walks out to the sports festival with his head up high, stating to himself that All Might can retire. Once the obstacle course race begins, Izuku manages to get through the narrow gate while avoiding Shoto's ice. Izuku sees that there's robots in front of him and decides that now's the time to put his head to use, no longer shaking in fear unlike the UA entrance exam. Izuku grabs a metal plate and severs the robot's head with it using the robot's momentum. Izuku tries to fall, but soon sees that he's far behind. He gets on the metal plate and blasts himself towards the lead using the landing.
I went to the lava zone before in a survival world. I've done it in a survival world. Can you kill stalkers?
Taking advantage of this, Izuku runs ahead and crosses the finish line in first place, which allows him to advance to the second event of the sports festival, which is the cavalry battle. Izuku then finds out that he's worth 10 million points in the cavalry battle, because, you know, he's got first place on the race course, which qualifies him as a prime target. Because of his value, Izuku has trouble finding teammates, but then Ochako decides to team up with him.
I just killed a stalker.
Izuku then tries to team up with Tenya, as he has great synergy with Ochako's quirk, but he politely declines, much to Izuku's disappointment.
I've been trying to kill the stalker so I can get his teeth, but I guess that doesn't work.
Recognized for being on his team due to his rank. Izuku decides on his final team member and chooses Fumikage Tokoyama. The event begins and Izuku's team is attacked by Team Tetsutetsu and Team Kagakure. But thanks to Mei's gadgets and Fumikage's Dark Shadow, they manage to thwart their attack. The team takes to the air, but they're suddenly attacked by Katsuki. Fumikage uses his Dark Shadow to block Katsuki's attacks, and the team lands on the ground. Izuku says that they should have an easier time now, but takes those words back when they're confronted by Shoto and his team. Izuku and Shoto's team battle, with neither team having the advantage. In a surprise twist, Tenya uses his reciprocal burst, allowing Shoto to take his 10 million headband in an instant. Izuku becomes distressed, but thanks to Ochako's encouragement, Izuku remembers that his teammates' fates are in his hands and decides to attack Shoto with One For All as a symbol of his unity. Izuku uses One For All to blow wind pressure at Shoto, which distracts Shoto and allows Izuku to take a headband. However, Izuku took the wrong headband and his team fights Shoto's team for the last 10 seconds. The event ends and Izuku becomes depressed.
Yes, I finally found the
He
stalker.
took a 615-point headband during the scuffle with Shoto, which allows his team to move on to the last event, with Izuku crying in happiness. After the lunch break begins, Izuku is seen with Shoto in private in a hallway, with Izuku asking what it is that he wanted to talk about. Shoto asks whether Izuku is an illegitimate child of All Might or not, but Izuku states that it's not the case. Shoto then tells Izuku about it. Shoto's story leaves Izuku shocked and speechless. Although their goals are different, with his goal being trifling compared to Shoto's, Izuku says that he can't let down the people who will help him get this far, and declares that he will defeat Shoto. The final event is a tournament event, and Izuku's opponent in the first round is Hitoshi Shinso. When Hitoshi approaches Izuku, Mashira Ojiro warns Izuku not to respond to his provocation. Before the first fight begins, All Might goes to see Izuku and advises him to smile in the face of anxiety and fear. A confident Izuku steps out of the ring to confront Hitoshi. After Izuku, who is angered by Hitoshi's insults, charges at him while yelling that he not insult Mashira, but then suddenly and mysteriously stops moving. Izuku finds himself to be completely immobile. Hitoshi tells him that he's lucky to have been blessed with heroic quirk. Hitoshi orders him to turn around and walk out of bounds. Izuku, under the effects of Hitoshi's brainwashing quirk, obeys Hitoshi's command and slowly starts walking towards the edge of the ring. Still conscious, Izuku tries to stop himself, but finds that his brain feels like it's full of fog and his body is moving on its own. As Izuku is just about to step out of bounds, he sees a vision of 8 shadowy figures, which causes Izuku to attack himself with one throw, allowing him to break free of Hitoshi's control. After a brief struggle, Izuku throws Hitoshi over his shoulder and brings out Hitoshi, causing Izuku to move on to the second round. Before leaving, Hitoshi
Vital
warns
signs
Izuku
stabilizing.
Izuku then heads to Recovery Girl's infirmary to have his wounds attended to. After his wounds are fixed, Izuku tells All Might about the shadowy figures he saw. All Might hypothesizes that the shadowy figures he saw were the imprints of people who had dared the
Go Golden. Get even more data at Fixed UK prices in 2026. Save Golden goodie bags today. £15 and extra 30 gigabytes of even Golden Golden data. Give gas, give time.
one for all sport. All Might advises Izuku to go and watch the next match. Izuku, along with Tenya, go to their seats at the stadium to watch the match. Izuku watches the match and becomes worried when Ochako hits these explosions. After Ochako collapses and is declared the loser of the match, Izuku expresses sadness. Izuku leaves his seat and walks away. Along the way, he encounters Katsuki and by herself, Izuku leaves the room and walks to his next match. Suddenly, Izuku runs into Endeavor. Endeavor tells Izuku to give Shoto a good matchup. Before Endeavor leaves, Izuku states that he's not All Might and Shoto is not Endeavor. The match begins and Izuku prepares to charge. Izuku manages to barely hold off Shoto's ice attacks with one for all wind pressure, but breaks 2 of his right hand's fingers as a result. However, Shoto is still able to close in on Izuku several times. After seeing Izuku's injury, Shoto decides to end the match and sends a wave of ice, but Izuku sends a blast of wind pressure against Shoto's ice with his broken right hand, destroying the ice. Izuku knows of Shoto's limits and berates Shoto for only using half of his power to win, while everyone else is giving it their all.
Welcome
He
aboard,
punches his
Captain.
broken right hand and orders Shoto to face him man to man. In enraged, Shoto runs towards Izuku to face him head-on, but Shoto's frostbite affects him, allowing Izuku to hit Shoto with a one-for-all enhanced punch, knocking Shoto down on the floor and slightly injuring him. However, Izuku is hit by Shoto's ice in the process of punching him. Shoto manages to get back up and launches another wave of ice, but Izuku uses one-for-all one puncher to shatter the ice with ease. Izuku once again berates Shoto for using only half of his power and mocks Shoto's own goal. Izuku hits Shoto again. After Shoto gets back up, Izuku tells Shoto that the firepower he has is his power and not his father's. Shoto, moved by Izuku's words, activates his firepower and states to Izuku that he too will become a hero, causing Izuku to crack a smile, happy to see his opponent finally giving it his all, like himself. Izuku and Shoto power up with one final blast. Izuku's wind pressure and Shoto's heat blast creates a huge shockwave. After the smoke clears, Shoto is still in the ring, but Izuku is out of the ring. Izuku's grievous injury makes him fall to the ground. Thus, Izuku is eliminated from the tournament event. Inside the Recovery Girl, All Might is begin this, since all
systems online.
Shoto overcome his mission. All Might tells Izuku that this match was simply an unfortunate outcome, but praises Izuku for helping Shoto with his problem. Izuku leaves Recovery Girl's room with All Might, and they walk down the corridor. Izuku admits to All Might that someone else is better deserving of one for all than him. However, All Might reveals that he too was quirkless, surprising Izuku. All Might encourages Izuku by saying that only he can truly shine with one for all. Izuku watches the final match between Katsuki and Shoto. During the match, Izuku yells at Shoto, "Fight!" After the fight, Izuku watches the closing ceremony of UA Sports Festival. Tenya told him about what happened to his brother and that he has to leave the sports festival. Izuku wishes for Tenya to be safe. After the sports festival is finished, the next day at his home during breakfast, Izuku and his mother talk to each other with Izuku, saying that she almost had a rougher time than she did. Izuku's mother is happy about Izuku's work, although she's a bit uneasy about its risky recoil, but nevertheless will keep cheering Izuku on. Izuku decides that he must find a way to control One For All properly. Izuku's mother asks if he wants to watch a recording of the UA Sports Festival, to which Izuku replies that he will, later on. Versus Hero Killer Arc. 2 days after the sports festival, Izuku's on a train to UA. While on the train, some of the passengers recognize him from the sports festival, acknowledging his prowess. At UA, Tenya is running and passes by Izuku, telling him that they should be at least 10 minutes earlier for school. After arriving inside, Izuku sees Tenya and remembers that recently his older brother Tensei had been seriously injured by a little thing. Izuku tries to talk to Tenya, but he tells Izuku that he doesn't have to worry about his brother, as he will be fine, and apologizes.
Jacob, I know how to get the drill arm. I think I found out where it is. Just go straight west, and I think you'll find it. After
Class 1A is finished formulating their hero,
I already went for
places to choose from so that
Leviathan class signatures.
All Might Izuku and tells him of a
Yeah.
from a person called Gran Torino, the friend of All Might's predecessor. All Might advises Izuku to choose Gran Torino for workplace training, as he'll be able to advise Izuku on one-for-all usage. Thus, Izuku decides to go to Gran Torino for his training. Izuku arrives at Gran Torino's address and enters his apartment. However, Izuku finds Gran Torino to seemingly be a foolish old man and prepares to leave. Suddenly, Gran Torino jumps towards the door and reveals he was merely putting up an act, as he tells Izuku that he can't stand to see how Izuku uses his quirk, and tells him that if he wants to learn more about one-for-all, then he should stay and put his hero costume on. Seeing the man's real persona, Izuku compares it to All Might's and realizes he's indeed the latter's teacher. He accepts the man's offer to train. He and Gran Torino have a mock battle, but Izuku is not able to keep up with Gran Torino's speed. After the mock battle finishes, Gran Torino gives a hint about Izuku's problem with one-for-all, that he thinks he's special. Izuku ponders about Gran Torino's hint and realizes that quirks are simply body functions, with one-for-all being no different. During the night on his first day, Izuku steps out of Gran Torino's apartment and goes to an alley in order to test out one-for-all by thinking of it as a simple body function. Izuku continues his practicing until morning. At breakfast, Izuku ponders why he still can't gain control over one-for-all. After a new microwave arrives and Izuku fails to have a tie up the one-for-all, Izuku realizes his next problem, that he's only been using one-for-all inside his body,
Starvation imminent. Seek calorie intake immediately.
one-for-all throughout his body and asks Gran Torino to test it. Izuku battles Gran Torino while one-for-all flows throughout his body. This time, Izuku is able to keep up with Gran Torino, but Gran Torino decides to get serious and strikes Izuku. After the battle, the elderly hero notes to himself that Izuku has dramatically changed in such a short span of time, and compliments Izuku with his
Ow.
reason, and a cut was shown in Gran Torino's face. Even though he was using his own power earnestly, Gran Torino tells Izuku that he must get Izuku's one-for-all throughout his body, and informs him that he'll continue training after breakfast. After breakfast, Izuku continues his training with Gran Torino. Gran Torino declares that he'll move on to phase 2, which is workplace experience. Izuku cleans himself up and puts on his hero costume. Gran Torino to the apartment, and Gran Torino leaves for a train to Shinjuku. On the train, Gran Torino tells Izuku that they'll be fighting villains since they appear at night. Suddenly, the train experiences an emergency stop, and a pro-hero comes crashing into the train, much to Izuku's and Gran Torino's shock. Immediately afterward, a creature that looks similar to Nomu appears. Izuku tries to take action, but Gran Torino orders Izuku to stay put. Gran Torino jumps from his seat and slams himself into the Nomu-like creature, smashing the creature and himself out of the train and into the air above Hosu. Izuku goes to check on Gran Torino, but sees that a part of Hosu has been set ablaze. Izuku wonders what's transpiring and starts to worry about Tenya's safety. Izuku exits the train and starts running towards Hosu. In Hosu, Izuku witnesses the battle between the pro-heroes and the two Nomu.
Fawn suit.
Izuku realizes that Tenya cut at the battle and slugs onto them. He quickly figures out that Tenya came to Hosu to find and hunt down the hero killer Stain, who is and manages to find Tenya in an alley where he's on the ground injured and Stain's about to kill him. Izuku activates one-for-all throughout his body, dashes at great speed, and punches Stain in the face, preventing the hero killer from finishing off Tenya. Izuku announces his arrival and declares that he came to save Tenya. He asks Tenya to leave, but Tenya tells him that he realizes. Stain praises Izuku and then threatens him. Izuku decides that he must protect Tenya and the evil character. Then he tries to
Sorry about chat. Even though I died, it's fine. Awesome. Remember, it's 3 plasteel ingots and something.
Shoto reveals himself and tells Izuku that he texted him more information than usual before the beginning. Izuku wanted to Shoto's battle with Stain, but he warned Shoto to not let Stain get his blood. Stain jumps into the air and prepares to stab Shoto at the time. Izuku realizes that he can move and activates one-for-all. Izuku, using enhanced jumping speed, appears before
Yeah. I think we just randomly get it. I can't. It has a blueprint.
As Shoto and Tenya battle Stain, Izuku is able to move again. Izuku and Tenya team up and attack Stain. Stain makes one last attempt to kill Tenya, but Shoto attacks Stain's fire, causing him to lose consciousness. Physically, Tenya and Shoto remove Stain from the fire. The three, along with the mythical hero, leave the alley with Stain in tow.
Well, if you scan them, you will get titanium at least.
Although Izuku admits that he could have been more of a friend, suddenly the wind normally appears on the ground. Stain awakens, frees himself, and throws the wind as well as Izuku is shocked at Stain's action. After Endeavor arrives, Izuku tries to break away from Stain. Stain's bandaged now and his face, shocking Izuku. Stain walks forward and declares that the only one who is allowed to kill him is All Might, unleashing a blood-prolific aura in the process. Izuku is terrified due to the fear. After Stain loses consciousness for the last time, Izuku, along with Shoto and Tenya, are taken to the Hosu General Hospital to have their wounds treated. The next day at Hosu General Hospital, the chief of Hosu Police, Kenji Surigame, appears to talk to them. Kenji tells Izuku, Shoto, and Tenya that the hero killer is undergoing treatment. Surigame states that they must be punished along with their mentors for not being there. However, Surigame tells them that the event that transpired with Stain will be covered up due to a limited
Jacob, if you do realize if you go well on fragments though. I don't know if it's exactly west. Yeah. No, as soon as I get the message, when I get the message, as soon as I always get the message, yeah, I never see Reapers until I go like way farther. Yeah. There's a mod for that. There's a mod that can get a team off MK5. I just saw a Reaper shadow. I just saw a shadow of a Reaper Leviathan.
After Izuku meets with All Might in the break room, All Might reveals that Izuku's One For All ability is which is because One For All can only be passed on when the user wishes it. All Might tells Izuku about One For All's origin. Originally, a man who was quirkless was given a power stone by an evil older brother whose quirk stole and passed on quirks. Unbeknownst to the older brother, the younger brother had a quirk which could transfer. Thus, the younger brother's transfer quirk and the power storing quirk mutated and became One For All. However, the younger brother couldn't defeat his older brother and passed on One For All onto successors until it was strong enough to defeat his evil older brother. Eventually, One For All was passed on to All Might, and he used it to defeat his older brother. However, the evil older brother has returned. Thus, Izuku will face him in battle when the time comes. Izuku says that whatever task All Might gives him, he will accomplish no matter what, as long as All Might is by his side. All Might thanks Izuku.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
In the lunchroom, Izuku, Tenya, Shoto, Ochako, Suyu, and Toru Hagakure eat at a table, discussing how they'll work together to the return test. Back in class, Izuku reveals the content of the exercise to the class. Once they get Mina's happiness,
Yeah.
he berates them about being excited that they have no control over their powers. During the next 3 days, all students study hard to pass the written exam. Then they prepare to face the boss in the practical exam, but Principal Nezu reveals that Class 1A will be broadcast to be a teacher in their exercise test. Shoja says that Izuku and Katsuki will be very good, much to their shock. Izuku and Katsuki become more surprised when they're faced against All Might in combat for their exercise test. All Might tells the duo to cooperate together in order to defeat him. Izuku and Katsuki have two options of winning and passing the test exercise. They must either hand them or one of them must escape to the battlefield. Izuku knows that this one has to fight with great decision today. All Might puts on super compact weighted bracelets to give himself a handicap. The test exercise begins. However, Katsuki and Izuku aren't able to agree on a plan of action and argument. Suddenly, All Might throws a punch which devastates the area between Katsuki and causes Izuku to knock down. Izuku is shocked at the level weakened to begin with, Trotsky attacks All Might, but is not able to inflict any damage. After defeating his skill activates on Trotsky in the sun, breaking, butchering him, and sending him flying backward. All Might prepares to finish off Trotsky tries to move, but to no avail. Suddenly, his skill activates when Trotsky out again and breaks free of the guardrail. He then punches Trotsky out of the way in a twist.
Yeah. You mean stage 3? Because you get infected stage 2 before you even go lost river. Look, a number 3 I get when you go to the disease research facility. You get number 3. Yeah, that's where you get number 3, which means you have number 2, which is confusing. No. My cuttlefish has nipples. Wait, do you think those nipples will go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger?
This is Life Pod 4.
Oh.
We've landed close to the Aurora. Flotation device is active, but we've got some big old fish in the water.
No, I don't know. And there was a sand shark facing my base for a second.
Signal coordinates corrupted. Approximate transmission origin recorded to date bank.
Bioreactor. Your mother. That was kind of funny though, how you just said. That's kind of good. I'm gonna go get I'm back. Why do you get a nuclear reactor when you get that? Oh, no.
Systems online.
You don't really get... I told you my iPad's dead. I'm watching through my phone. I swear, if you say search it up on your phone... I will in a sec.
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased. Passing 200 meters. oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
My Hero Academia 2 heroes. After his patient training exercise with several members of Class 1A, All Might receives a message from his former partner's daughter, Melissa Shield, inviting him to Eye Island for the special expo event to reunite with his father, David Shield. All Might runs into East on his way home and asks him if he is +1 to Eye Island, which he excitedly accepts. While on the plane, East calls out to attempt to meet All Might, as he wants him to check out the view of Eye Island from up in the sky on their plane. All Might tries to invite East because their bond is one for all is thicker than blood. After the plane lands at the airport, Izuku sees All Might shift into his muscular form, and he explains that he must maintain this form the entire time.
No.
All Might double-checks everything. Izuku got permission to enter the hero costume park. After passing immigration, All Might asks Izuku what he knows about the island, and isn't surprised when he sees other planets. Eye Island is a combination of but they are toward the island before a young woman appears and shows familiarity to All Might. Seeing their talk, Izuku nearly mistakes her for the friend All Might mentioned until All Might introduces Izuku to Melissa Shield. They arrive at a laboratory where Izuku is amazed to see All Might communicate his father, David Shield. David then has everyone else All Might's they go to the island everyone on the island is also invited to a reception party at the end of the night. Melissa asks Izuku if he's attending, and he confirms it, realizing why All Might made him pack the home to their joy. Izuku is taken by Melissa to the pavilion where she shows him several different inventions out on display. Izuku hears Melissa state she's a third-year student. They share the same goal of becoming like the people they admire. Izuku learns the rest of the customer is also on the island too. They just can't attend the expo until it's open to the public. Hey, he just stands there with an explosion they can check it out.
Rocket.
Where they find Ichiro and Tatsuki on the building block. Tatsuki goes to the building attack challenge, which he reluctantly accepts, managing to score second place behind Tatsuki using full cowl at 5%. Melissa notices that Izuku's power is very similar to All Might's, though he's limiting his power. The group is then surprised by the arrival of Shoto Todoroki, who steals from
Jacob, I did what you said was smart, like put your repair tool, do the glitch so you have your repair tool in it so you can repair, and yeah, I did it. Yeah.
She says she could tell from his scars and performance that his clone is too much for his brain to handle, and that device will greatly increase the amount of power he needs. She asks him to become a great hero that can protect people. Izuku and Melissa soon go to the tower outside the reception hall, where the rest of the group in their formal attire still wait for Tatsuki and Ichiro, who unbeknownst to them have gone wrong. Suddenly, they discover themselves locked up by the security system, with their cell phones losing signal and no access to the elevator. Knowing All Might's in the party, they quickly head up to the third floor above the reception hall to find out what's going on. Once there, they find All Might and many other folk heroes tied up while being Izuku manages to get All Might's attention, and using Kyoto's quirk, they learn the situation. A group of villains led by Wolfram have taken control of the island's security system, holding everyone on the island hostage, and that they've taken David and his assistant Samuel. Kenny suggests that since they still can't legally fight villains, they should try to escape with the rest of the group discussing about what the best course of action is. Izuku stands firm that he wants to save everyone, and that they can do it without fighting, with Melissa saying that if they can try to get to the top floor of the tower, they can reset the security system and release everyone. Reinvigorated, everyone decides to work together to execute the plan. Izuku tries to tell Melissa...
Awesome, I'm about to get the drill on. No, is it just me who wishes the sea truck was in original Subnautica and the sea moth? Because I really want the docking module for the sea truck, but at the same time, the sea truck isn't even in a regular Subnautica, but I want the docking module so I can bring the prawn suit to the Lost River without having to only use the prawn.
At the same moment, Ichiro and Tatsuki, unaware of what's going on, confrontation between the two and the villains. Shoto stays behind to assist in the fight, using his quirk to create an ice pillar that raises the others to their floor. After passing 100 floors, they realize security resistance is lessened, and the villains are trying to
Yeah.
Once on the 130th floor, they're faced with security guards. They attempt to destroy them with their exploits, but when that fails, physically utilizing the full gauntlet for the first time, pushing the boss back with a 30% one-block smash. The group is ambushed by more security guards everywhere. Melissa warns them
On the sea moth, you said sea glide. You literally said sea glide. I was like,
Melissa and Ricardo heading forward.
huh.
They reach the wind-powered generation
Vital signs stabilizing.
exit at the top of the tower. Just as she's about to be attacked by more robots, she's saved by Katsuki, Shoko, and all the robots. Katsuki and Shoko have
I'm drinking Dr. P. I'm drinking Dr. P. No, it's Dr. Pepper, Jacob.
The two are shocked not only by David and Sam themselves, but also by hearing them working with the villains, leading to a confrontation. Tearful Melissa demands to know why this happened, which she admits is because his device, one with the power to amplify work, was taken and locked away by their island sponsors, and then
Yeah.
provided him with the idea of how big villains can use as a distraction to steal it back. He further explains that he knows that
What do you mean?
and that he wants to give it to him so that he can continue being the same. Melissa angrily tells David that her friends did to save everyone, but everyone who got hurt in the process
You did what?
makes his dramatic appearance, revealing that they themselves be big villains with all who goes to try
What the booty blast cheeks?
metal manipulation for him.
That could have gave it. Oh god. They should have just ate it. If they put it in in his mouth, he should have just swallowed. Pardon? What the fling? Bling bling jing. That's confusing. I just made a rhyme with jing jing bling. That's confusing. Goes numb, you can call that mental freeze, yeah. 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 I don't know why I just went yeah. 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 Yeah.
Be advised, a common complication for cave divers is loss of orientation, followed by eventual asphyxiation.
Yeah. And deep when your brain goes numb, you can. What?
Passing 100
No.
meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
What? Watching. Yeah, I had to. Yeah. You sent me that.
Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
You sent me that for no. And I was just like, why? Why did you send me this? And not leave a message? I did. Yes. When it's only you. Oh, that sucks so much, but for you. You went. Oh, no. No, I've seen this. No, I've seen this. So he thinks he's about to fart, so he releases the fart, but it wasn't a fart. It was a dog duty poop. And it went, and it sounded like a sloppy, a really sloppy fart. I just got Cyclops Death Module Mark 1 unlocked. Wait, if you went to that bulb zone place and got it in a data box. Yeah, you're dumb. Yeah. Yeah, but it's in your blueprints. Oh yeah, that's quite easy. No, I'm like looking at my PDA thing, that's quite easy when I'm running out of oxygen and I'm like... Yeah, because I was next to the surface at 1 oxygen and I'm like... Up! And then I'm just like... I went up a meter and get 225 oxygen.
Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Salvage. 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 I just barked after having Dr. Pepper. No. You not having the sea glide won't be able to get to the surface when your screen going black at 50 meters. Me with the sea glide going up there like that, you. How? It's called sea glide, bum. No, please. He uses an enhanced one-for-all punch, but it does nothing. He is unstoppable. Muscular considers physically an inferior version. He torments Izuku with his hollow strength, mocking Izuku for being unable to back his words up and laughs at the villain's reasoning. Before the villain can attack Kota, he jumps at Muscular uses one-for-all full cowl, telling him that he's the one at fault. Izuku analyzes the villain's speed and notices that it surpasses his own, and the no chance of victory is Izuku punches grappling arm! Hey Jacob! With no other choice, Izuku decides to unleash his quirk's full power. Izuku uses one-for-all 100% against the villain, which blasts Muscular with poison fluid entering immediately. Also partially destroys the cliff due to the great. Kota is sent flying away. Yo Jacob, do you have to grapple? Yo Jacob, do you have the grappling, all of the grappling arm fragments for the pawn? Oh no. Just wiped out Tomato Town. I'm going to die right now. No, I'm going to die. Oh, Jacob. Do you have all of the grappling arm fragments? Pah! You don't. I know, I just got them all. Shipwreck. I just look for in the... Why? Why do I have to lose the stuff I need? I'll tell you what, where you go. So, go into the creepvine biome. You know, the green biome. Look around for like a cave entrance, not to the mushroom cave. You go, look through that. I don't know how to explain it. Just look through a creepvine biome, and you will find it eventually. Just look through every creepvine biome. And there's a cave entrance. There's a cave entrance with like a purple sting, something that will poison you if you go in it. Yes, I don't know. It's just like a hanging down. It's a droopy whoopy. Yeah, probably. Oh no, you don't have to go in a cave. I just went. I found it, but I don't know exactly where it is. Okay. I'm just... Oh, by the way, you find the grappling arm fragments in the bulb zone for me. I found them then. The ball... No, not close to the island, but not straight under it. Yes, I got all my diamonds back. Drill arm. You also get the repulsion cannon, not the propulsion. You know, the modification station upgraded one. Okay. There's a data box with it here.
Integrating new PDA data.
Suddenly, a massive villain known as Mr. Compress appears on a tree branch and reveals that he used his magic to take Kotsky by turning him into a marble. The masked magician-like villain states that the heroes don't deserve someone of Kotsky's caliber and notes that Kotsky will shine even brighter on the villain's side. Mr. Compress also reveals that he captured Kumikage due to his great power, much to Mizuku's anger. Mr. Compress begins escaping. Mizuku refuses to give up and hatches a plan to save Kumikage and power, then involves them flying towards Mr. Compress. The three fly Mr. Compress at high speed and reach him. Ochako deactivates her quirk, causing them to land on Mr. Compress and smash him into the ground at the villain's rendezvous point. Mizuku, Shoto, and Mezzo see that they're right in front of Dabi, Himiko, and Flames. Dabi launches his flames, which hit Mizuku and injures his arm. Himiko decides to fight and attacks Mizuku. Mezzo smacks Himiko off Mizuku, but Flames loses his fight. When Mr. Compress finds that he can't kill him, Mezzo reveals that he took the model that Kumikage and Kotsky were in from Mr. Compress, much to Mizuku's happiness. As Mizuku and Shoto prepare to back up Mezzo, he immediately arrives and blocks the path. Mr. Compress reveals that the new model is actually his now, causing Mizuku to chase after Mr. Compress. Suddenly, Mr. Compress is hit by Yuga's naval laser, causing him to spit out the marbles. Mizuku, Mezzo, and Shoto rush to grab the marbles, although Mizuku starts succumbing to his injuries, which causes him to fall to the ground. Mezzo grabs the marbles and takes the saving him.
Blah 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 blah. Grab this. Grab.
but this time they can save it. The previous day, he and Shoko overheard Momo talking to Onmite about the tracking device she put on Momo. 10 years says that Eiichiro wants Momo to create another target so that Class 1 agents can track down and rescue Katsuki themselves. Momo demands that they need to know the Eiichiro's side of the situation. He and Eiichiro argue, and the latter encourages Izuku to go through the plan as it will allow him to reach and save Katsuki. Izuku gives him a fleeting look, and Tenya is hesitant, as he knows fully well about the consequences they will face. Hideout radar. The group wants to save Katsuki, but most of the time they are against the plan. A doctor enters and asks if Class 1 is to leave so that he can speak to Izuku privately. As Class 1 agents, Eiichiro tells Izuku that they talked with Momo yesterday and have decided that they'll rescue Katsuki tonight, inviting him to join them. As Eiichiro leaves, the doctor informs him that although his arms are healed, he's literally curing him and should be doing the same injury twice, he'll never move his arms again. The doctor tells Izuku that he's being discharged and hands Izuku a letter from Koto. Later that night, in front of the hospital, Izuku arrives and Eiichiro
I'm going to live pod 2 just so I can get to the Lost with
While Momo says that she'll ensure that there's no combat involved. Izuku tells Tenya that he must save Katsuki. The group boards a train to a place called Kamino Yokohama. At Kamino,
Yeah, because I haven't needed to go there. I just unlocked the prawn suit because I haven't been working on the prawn suit for the past few episodes.
After watching the clip, he sees that Ue are being treated like criminals, and that the mood of the people watching has become heavy against Ue. Izuku, along with Eiichiro, Shoko, Momo, and Tenya, continue towards the place of the tracking device. After waiting for a while near the place, Momo notes that the villains have made no movement and states the possibility of Katsuki not being displaced, and reminds them that if he sees in combat, then he won't hesitate to stop them. Izuku thanks the villains for the objects in true villainous fashion, according to Eiichiro's role. After Momo sends Izuku along with Izuku stands up to the after Eiichiro sees the inside because of the goggles, he hands them over to Izuku. Izuku looks inside and sees suddenly, the warehouse which shocks Izuku. The patrol hero does Venus Tiger and Oka in the warehouse. As they speak, Izuku and the group decide to head home. Suddenly, a mysterious man appears to face the hero in a simple
No, because I'm going to the Lost with in my sea moth. Well, my blaze moth, it's actually called. No, it doesn't. There's nickel spawns on like walls sometimes.
Can teleport near the man, which catches Izuku's attention. Izuku prepares to move, but Tenya stops him.
I have.
Faces the awful one.
I'm sure I have. Ah, why are there crab squids in the blood kelp zone? No, I said why. I said why.
And that it'll enable them to rescue Katsuki.
Like it's a blue zone. Oh god, I see it, I see it. It's protecting the cave entrance to get to the Lost River. I bet I just dodged its EMP. I hate crab squids. Listen. No. Huh?
Kenji and Spinner launch this express into the air, but an out lady intercepts them, allowing Izuku along with Eiichiro, Tenya, and the rest of Katsuki to get away. Izuku, Eiichiro, Tenya, and Katsuki land on the ground along with Izuku and his group, along with Katsuki, safely escape into the crowd. Izuku sees All Might battling All For One on the broadcast screen and screams at him to win. After All
What?
Might defeats All For One, Izuku celebrates.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You're next. The citizens watching take All Might's message as a warning to all those out there, causing the citizens to praise All Might and start celebrating him. However, Izuku knows what All Might's message truly meant, that his time as symbol of peace has come to an end, and he, Izuku, is the next successor. Izuku
Yeah,
realizes that
Jacob.
time has truly come to an end, and starts crying. Izuku, along with Eiichiro, Tenya,
Awesome.
Which children moment. They take Katsu to a police station for safety. Afterwards, Izuku says goodbye and heads home. Later that evening, Izuku receives a message from All Might. He runs out of his home and heads towards All Might's location. At the Takuba Municipal Beach Park, Izuku goes to All Might. However, All Might greets Izuku with a Texas smash as a part of his scolding. All Might reveals to Izuku that he can no longer use One for All and demonstrates this by entering his hero form, only to exit it in a split second afterwards. All Might informs Izuku that he's retiring as a hero since he's in a state where he can't fight anymore. All Might scolds Izuku for never doing what he's told and for his recklessness in wrestling Katsu. However, All Might is glad that his recklessness didn't get him injured.
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen
All Might
efficiency
hugs
decreased.
Izuku and apologizes for not being a
Passing
complimentary
200
person.
meters.
But from now on, he'll
Oxygen
focus solely on Izuku's welcome aboard, Captain. Izuku now fully understands that the age of All Might has come to an end. Toshinori visits and enters the Midoriya household, with Izuku and his mother flabbergasted that the number one hero has entered their abode. After the three sit down at the table, Toshinori asks Inko for permission to send Izuku to the UA dorms. However, she's against it, much to Izuku's shock, since they agree that he can be relocated to UA's dormitories. She explains that she's worried about her son since his work damages him rather than helps him, and is deeply concerned about her son's future as a pro hero after witnessing All Might's brutal battle. Inko states that she has no confidence in UA and is unable to entrust her son to them. Izuku tries to convince his mother that his injuries are a result of his inability to control his quirk, but Inko replies that regardless, it's still the responsibility of UA to take care of their students, which they haven't done. Inko understands that she's being a strict parent, but the safety of her child is her number one priority, and she's fine with Izuku continuing to become a hero since it's his dream, as long as he's in a safe environment, which is why she wants to send Izuku to another school. Although he understands his mother, Izuku wants to continue his dream at UA, since that's where Toshinori became a hero. Izuku runs out of the room while Toshinori understands Izuku's frustration. That it must be painful not being able to study at the same place his idol went to. Izuku returns to the room with a letter in his hand. The letter is a thank you from Kota. Izuku tells his mother that at the training camp he saved the boy who hated quirks and heroes from the villain. Izuku declares that even if he can't stay at UA, he'll still keep dreaming to become a hero. Toshinori is shocked that Izuku is willing to continue his dream even though it's not at the same place as his idol. Toshinori transforms into his hero form and kneels before Izuku and Inko, bowing his head each to the shop. As All Might, he apologizes to Inko for his negligence as Izuku's teacher and understands that she's worried about his unhappy hero. All Might asks Inko to allow him to walk together with Izuku down his path so that he doesn't have a better future. All Might promises that he'll nurture and protect Izuku even at the cost of his own life. Inko is shocked at All Might's resolve, causing her to fall to her knees. Inko states that all she wants is Izuku to be happy, and tells All Might that he should never trade his life away for someone else's sake.
Yeah, I found the ghost, because I couldn't find the entrance. So I found the ghost, and I think I just found the entrance
All Might pledges to protect
to the Lost River.
Izuku tells his mother that
Yeah.
outside, Toshinori compliments Izuku's mother, telling Izuku she reminds him of his master. Toshinori leaves and tells Izuku that he'll see him at UA. Provisional Hero License Exam. Following Katsu's rescue and the retirement of All Might, Genji transforms UA into a boarding school.
You've got to be kidding me. I find like something where you need a tablet. It's a purple tablet. I have an orange tablet.
To get provisional hero licenses like they had planned to during
Yep.
the training. Then Shota scolds Izuku, Tenya, Momo, Eiji,
No, you son of a foot. I just got...
It is ordered for All Might's sudden retirement. Shota advises the group that will use Katsu to go through the proper procedures, which will also restore the trust between them. The girls talk the guys into a refreshingly lively competition to see whose dorm is the best among the rest, and will be crowned the room king to Izuku's horror. He tries to stop the girls, but they invade his room and notice it's filled to the brim with All Might merch and posters. Otaku calling it an otaku. The next day, Class 1A begins their school life anew. In Class 1A's room, Shota Aizawa mentions that their first objective will be earning the provisional hero licenses. To prepare for the provincial hero license exam, Class 1A students will create at least 2 signature super moves that they'll use in combat, with his help and that of Subnatica's, Ectoplasm, and Midnight. He also recommends them to upgrade their hero costumes. While all of Class 1A begins training, Izuku Midoriya is puzzled and confused as to what his special move should be. One of Ectoplasm's clones scolds Izuku for daydreaming. Izuku tells the Ectoplasm clone that he hasn't thought of any special moves because he must keep in mind not to try and break his arm in the process. The Ectoplasm clone advises Izuku to focus on developing his quirk instead. All Might arrives, wanting to see Class 1A developing their special moves since it's his job as a teacher to oversee the training of his students. All Might approaches him and gives Izuku advice. He's still trying to imitate him. It confuses Izuku. Before Izuku can question further, All Might goes to each operation. All Might was teaching Izuku to think independently. Following the recommendations of Shogun, Izuku heads to the development studio for a costume upgrade. Izuku waits outside the door of the Chaco and Tenyo appear. Before they can greet each other, an explosion from the development studio sends Izuku flying back. As the smoke clears, power loaders full.
Yep, I think I just found it.
The person responsible for the explosion is none other than Mikachi, who's landed on top of Izuku. They recognize the
Knuckles scans show many violent things, leading to a biome with extensive fossil life remains.
Izuku and the Chaco and Tenyo remind them
An hour and 6 minutes.
Power Loader reminds May that he's fine with her working in the development studio, but mustn't cause chaos, otherwise they'll end. Power Loader turns his attention to Izuku, the Chaco, and invites them into the development studio. Power Loader explains to the trio about hero costume upgrades. Izuku asks Power Loader if there's something he can do to reduce his arm movements. Power Loader replies that minor changes suddenly May discusses the body of the similar exoskeleton, much to Izuku's discomfort.
What do you need for the jump mod? Yeah. Oh, the Ghost Leviathan in the Lost River. Oh no.
Emergency. Starvation imminent. Seek calorie intake immediately.
An explosion beam, the AP shot is successfully executed and penetrates the rock, but causes the rock to keep falling towards All Might. Suddenly, Izuku appears and destroys the rock with a kick. All Might is impressed that Izuku figured out his advice on his own. Izuku has realized that just because he's the new successor of One For All doesn't mean that he has to inherit the style of his predecessor. Taking May's words into consideration to maintain his health,
Why?
he decided to forego All Might's previous fighting style and redevelop his own fighting style. The technique Izuku used to destroy the rock is called One For All style, a technique that's an application of Izuku's weak-based fighting style. The class then plays the Takaba National Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Sees some of Class 1 areas, but Shoto encourages them to do their best so that they can pass this exam and further their goal in becoming heroes. Other participants of the exam recognize the students with grit. The people standing in front of Class 1A are students from the famous Shikatsu High School.
You need the whole thing on you to not take radiation damage. You need the whole, everything that you get when crafting radiation suit.
Those whose targets have been hit are disqualified. Participants need to eliminate 2 students to move on to the next phase of the exam. The room in which the students are in unfolds to reveal the arena, in which there are varying environments to battle in. On the preliminary round battlefield, Izuku warns his classmates that the other students may know of their quirks from watching the UA Sports Festival, and decides that Class 1A should work together to pass the preliminary round. However, Katsuki and Shoko go off on their own, and Eishiro and Pinky decide to follow Katsuki. The rest of Class 1A follow Izuku, who explains that working together is better because the other students know their quirks and fighting styles. The preliminary round of the original Hero License exam begins, and as Izuku predicted, dozens of examiners from other schools approach them and are eager to take them out. One of them, Shindo, sees Izuku and reports that Izuku breaks the body of a top uses it. Shindo and many other examiners begin throwing balls at Class 1A. However, thanks to their training and costume upgrades, Class 1A students manage to avoid being hit by the balls. Yoshindo realizes that Class 1A has gotten stronger, and tells his fellow classmates that he'll shatter their solid defense, and uses vibrates towards on the ground, unleashing a powerful earthquake that completely shatters the ground and causes the members of Class 1 to explode. And notices that Ketsubuki has managed to steer up Class 1A. He contemplates that Ketsubuki apparently have done their homework and decides that Class 1A must team up together in order to combat Ketsubuki's very strong teamwork. Despite a disadvantage of being alone, Izuku can't help but feel excited by the idea of facing off against stronger students. Suddenly, Izuku is taken by surprise when Amy from Shiketsu suddenly attacks her with weak points to the wall. Amy scolds Izuku for zoning out in the middle of battle. However, she finds it weird that she can still smile after being put at a disadvantage, and finds it to be cool. Izuku focuses and prepares for combat. Amy claims she's targeted Izuku because she has a lot of intel on him, and she wanted to face a UA student before they got eliminated. Izuku says that Amy talks too much and mulls over the possibility of Ketsubutsu students fighting both of them. Amy throws a rock, follows up with one of her balls at Izuku, who evades, and when he moves to counterattack, he is surprised because Amy's disappeared. She reappears behind him and tries to tag another one of his targets for the ball. He dodges, but she disappears again. Amy gets behind Izuku and hunts him down before revealing that disappearing isn't part of her quirk, and she's one of her skills.
And it takes half your health.
Counterattack, students from Ketsubutsu arrive to ambush Izuku and Amy.
Jeez, at the beginning of the game, if it hits you, it does half. Didn't it?
Slips off a cliff. Izuku manages to catch Ochako and uses a powerful kick to destroy their weapon. Then he runs away with her in his arms. The Ketsubutsu students lose their track. Izuku and Ochako hide behind the building. She tries to tag another one of his weak points, and Izuku slaps away her ball. He reveals he knows she's probably from Shiketsu because Ochako would have used her sword to save herself earlier. Also, he knows that the real Ochako would never jump into danger recklessly without a plan. Amy reveals herself and asks that Izuku tell her about his son. Hanta tries to go after her, but Izuku advises against it because Amy's targets aren't sure if she'll run her body, and he reasons that there's no point in chasing after her. Izuku tells them that they need to move quickly because many people have already passed.
Vital signs stabilizing.
And how rival students are starting to split up. Izuku tells them that he'll act as a decoy while they keep a distance from him and try to immobilize as many exams as possible. All of them prepare to enact their plan. Izuku activates one for all full power shoot style and dashes past the group of examinees, being chased by them. Hanta catches up to him and asks him to carry them both into the air. When they reach a safe height above the ground, Ochako releases debris attached to tape that traps the pursuers by sticking them to the ground. Izuku, Hanta, and Ochako place their balls on 6 examinees and pass the first phase. They head to the winner's waiting room and run into Katsuki, Eiichiro, and Denki, who have also passed the exam. While the classmates celebrate their success, Katsuki asks Izuku if he passed, to which Izuku tells Katsuki that he did. Izuku finds it awkward to be speaking to Katsuki since it's the first time since the Kanaga incident, but Katsuki even compliments his work and says he expected nothing less with his borrowed power. This surprises Izuku. Class 1A celebrates all of its students passing the first phase. Yoshihiro Mera directs everyone's attention to the screen, and they all watch as the arena is turned into
Welcome
a
aboard,
disaster. He
Captain.
announces the next and final phase of the exam will involve rescue operations. Mera explains that they have the rescue professionals from the Helvis company who are trained to act as citizens in need of rescue. Waiting for the second exam to start, Izuku and Eiichiro realize that the second exam is modeled after the Kanaga incident. Emi says that there were many casualties while their group was focused on rescuing Katsuki. The second exam starts, and Izuku notices a boy crying and injured who screams that his grandpa had been crushed. Izuku finds that to be terrible, much to the crying child's annoyance. Who's rating them yells at Izuku and says he's lost points for not comforting the victim first. The boy explains that they need to help repair the situation, so it goes smoothly when emergency responders arrive. Saying something like, "This is bad," both come to the injury. Izuku realizes this is why All Might always smiles, and knowing this has its true purpose, Izuku tries him by smiling and using kind words to reassure him, which works. Izuku tells Ochako and Pena that he'll take the child to the first aid station, but will return for them. 10 minutes later, most of the students appear to be doing well. Yoshihiro Mera comments that the test will include more adversity. Suddenly, Gang Orca and his men interrupt rescue operations and abruptly bust into the arena using a large explosion. The student
Vital signs stabilizing.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I will be your superhero. You know how.
The history of the Renegade, Naruto. The Renegade is reputed as the
I forgot what life had to. What a ooze. Wait a second, it's gonna go. But obvious.
First is 0 for 1 trophy. We got Balloon PD6 Hero Booster. 4 Monkeys XP earlier. Black Song. Oh, bad! Thanks, Balloon. You're looking pretty bad for yourself. Pew pew pop bad. Why is this loading? Why is this a thing? Why is the bones rate? Sniper. No, win. Okay, yeah, I get it. Makes all libraries less resistant. For a double, top 100 gold. Earn heaps of money. Big balls. Increase what is all of this? So let's play it. What's that? What am I looking at? Master Builder, Big Monkey Towers, the challenge. No bananas for you. This demo never going on. No bananas for you. So we can play on the roof. I'll play. We'll play on Sunset, Silent Night. On the off chance that blues are secretly all victorious, the engineers now equip an arsenal of advanced copy projectiles like sticks, garbage, coffin, limited. Okay, here's the sniper mode. You feel combat rank.
Yeah. Pardon? Okay, because you said press X. No, I didn't.
Why are the balloons coming from this direction? Why are the balloons going?
I didn't know.
What? Wait, why are you attacking? What? Okay. Oh, why are you even out of that? What is it? Is the bomb trigger? What's happening? I'm so confused. Oh wait, why are we popping the balloons over here? Why? Wait, what is happening right now? I don't like. Oh wait. Okay. So what's this? No, this is the sniper monkey. Why is the sniper monkey $1,000? I don't have $1,000 yet. That's fine. I'm going to buy a sniper monkey. That's what we're doing. Why is this shooting this way? What's even in this talent? I don't know, but we're slowly losing life. Why are we on round 338? We're on round 800 now. Okay. I still don't have $1,000. I just want $1,000. I just want a sniper monkey so I can pop these or later. Oh, here we go. Finally, 1,000. Wait, what? Alright, let's do it. Why my brain hurts. Okay, we need to get some this was a banana. Okay, that's the reason. Yeah, so here's our banana farm. So maybe we can get the banana farm up the road. We'll have this guy here, and he's gonna do this. I got a helicopter. I'm so bad at this game. Why did I buy a helicopter? Okay, I didn't need to buy a helicopter. No, wait. They're all the same one. Okay. I can't put that on. That's a border monkey. But the border monkey.
Why?
Oh. What? Oh, here's the dartling gunner. Wait, what? Dartling gunner is actually going to be really important. I definitely want to. Okay, this guy. Alright, let's tell him that.
No.
this the banana pop? There we go. Okay, that's the banana pop. Wait, look at this. He throws out grapes instead of bananas. Fire grapes. Okay, finally started. Look, I just want to. All I want is I feel like it throws out darts now. I think I can look at this. It's throwing out the roof. Is that do I have an infinite amount of HP? I don't know, and at this point,
Yeah.
I have no idea what hero I am. Okay, that's Biker Bone. Is Biker Bone going to be worth it?
Hi.
Alright, well, I have Biker Bone too. I'm going to keep it down. Biker Bone's going to do his best to help Biker. I just want to bang. Why does my money say not much LOL?
And is that nickel? Yeah. I'm getting nickel.
The sniper monkey is the first one. Okay, we definitely want the sniper monkey.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna end my life too, and I'm gonna start a brand new life straight after on Subnatica below 0.
Crazy stuff. Oh my gosh, this looks so cool. I've never seen it. It looks like a crab. I've only seen it from like that area, but like that looks so cool. We got the blades. I actually love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna end my stream there.